Hey everyone, welcome back to Mikro Loves Hockey. I'm your host Mikro, and it's time to talk about last week's games and my predictions for this week. It was a busy one. Goals, empty netters, and a few heartbreakers. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the Nashville Predators. I said the Sens would win 2-1 in overtime, and I'd be happy either way. But guess what? The Preds came out flying and took it 4-1. But on a serious note, sending best wishes to Brady Tkachuk. He had surgery on his hand and will be out for about 6 to 8 weeks. I feel bad for his father, Keith Tkachuk. Having your sons Matthew and Brady out at the same time? Let's hope they can recover and get better soon. Jonathan Marchessault opened the scoring late in the second period, then Ryan O'Reilly made it 2-0. Ridley Gregg got one back for the Sens, but the Predators shut the door. Marchessault scored again, and Cole Smith added one more empty netter for good measure. That's how you handle business on the road. Smashville came ready to play. Now on to the San Jose Sharks. I predicted the Sharks would win 3-2 in overtime against the Carolina Hurricanes. But the Canes had other plans. Carolina took it 5-1. Sean Walker started things off for the Hurricanes. William Eklund tied it up for San Jose, and then it was all Carolina after that. William Carrier, Eric Robinson, Shane Gostisbehere, and Jackson Blake each found the back of the net. The Sharks just couldn't recover. They really need a dub soon. And hopefully this next road trip can spark something. And finally, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I called a 5-3 Leafs win, but they just fell short, losing 3-2 to the Detroit Red Wings. It was a tight game all the way. Detroit jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Toronto fought back to tie it, and then Mason Appleton buried the game winner with under a minute to go in regulation. That one stung for Leafs fans, but credit where it's all due to Cam Talbot. He was lights out for the Red Wings, and Detroit managed to sweep their back-to-back series. Now let's talk about this week's predictions. So the Predators lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs 7-4, and they lost again to the Habs 3-2 in overtime, and then again to the Winnipeg Jets 4-1. So that gives them a 2-2-2 record, all twos, and put them 7th in the Central Division. The Predators start a 5-game homestand with Anaheim tomorrow. They got something to prove on the ice, and I think they'll handle it. Preds win 3-1. This week, the Sharks just seem to get worse. Toothless, I say. Toothless. With a 6-3 loss to the Utah Mammoth and get shut out by the Pittsburgh Penguins 3-0. The Sharks are at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean and the division. They head east for a 4-game road trip, starting with the New York Islanders tomorrow. San Jose really needs to turn things around. I think they dig deep and walk away with a 2-3 victory in regulation. Come on, boys. For the Leafs, I have different expectations for this team. They started with a loss to Detroit, but then they beat the Nashville Predators 7-4, and then the New York Rangers 2-1 in overtime, and then had a heartbreaking loss to the Seattle Kraken 4-3 in overtime. Going into this week, they wrap up their 5-game homestand against the New Jersey Devils tomorrow. I'm calling a 5-3 Leafs win. It's time for Toronto to start playing like the team that won the Atlantic Division last year. So there you have it. We'll see next week how close I got, but I'm feeling pretty good about these picks. Thanks for watching this episode of Mikro Loves Hockey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your predictions in the comments. Until next time, peace.